Chosen one, this is no coincidence, it is a divine appointment. Heaven has drawn you here because the wind of change is blowing in your direction. You stand on the threshold of a supernatural transfer, a moment so sacred that even the angels are preparing the way for you. What is about to unfold in your life will not happen by human effort, but by divine orchestration. You've felt it, haven't you? The restlessness, the stirring in your spirit, the quiet knowing that something greater is coming. That isn't anxiety, it's activation. The same God who spoke light into darkness is now speaking movement into your situation. Every closed door, every delay, every disappointment has been preparation for this release. You are not just stepping into a new space, but into a new dimension of favor. As written in Isaiah 43 verse 19, "Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Shall you not know it?" This is that moment. Your relocation is not random, it is revelation. Heaven has already packed your promise and placed it at your door. The shift has begun. Listen closely, chosen one, because nothing happening around you right now is accidental. The tension you feel, the restlessness in your spirit, the quiet discontent with your surroundings, this is not confusion but confirmation. Heaven is repositioning you for divine promotion. You are being prepared for movement, physical, spiritual, emotional, and even financial. Do not fear this shift. It is not meant to unsettle you but to set you free. The same God who called Abraham out of the familiar and into promise is calling you now. When heaven begins to move you, it first unsettles the ground beneath your feet. The shaking you feel is not punishment but preparation. Every delay, disruption, and closed door is not rejection but redirection. I know this feeling because I have lived it when the walls of an old season began closing in, not from failure but from fulfillment. What once felt comfortable suddenly became too small, and though I tried to hold it together, the Spirit whispered, "You're not supposed to stay here. I'm calling you higher." That's when I learned that God never removes you from something until what's next is already prepared. Heaven doesn't just relocate, it redeploys. You are not being displaced. You are being positioned. Every no you've heard is heaven saying, "Not here." Every closed door is protecting your future from something your eyes cannot yet see. If you've been feeling divine discomfort, the sacred restlessness that says, "I can't stay where I am," it is because your spirit has already moved ahead of your body. You're outgrowing environments that can no longer sustain your assignment. Do not mistake the shaking for instability. It is the sound of divine movement. Heaven is packing your promise even now unseen, but active. The Holy Spirit is aligning circumstances, conversations, and people to guide you into your next chapter. That is why certain relationships are fading, why some opportunities feel hollow, and why you crave peace in ways you never have before. Your soul knows it is almost time when God is about to promote you. He begins by pruning you, cutting away what no longer fits so you can carry what is coming. I've seen this in my own life. Friendships I cherished ended, doors I prayed for stayed shut, but later I understood why. God was not denying me, He was delivering me. He was preserving the version of me that could handle the blessing He was preparing. And that same preservation is happening for you. Do not confuse stillness with stagnation. God is not silent, He is strategic, orchestrating your next move like a master composer arranging a final crescendo. You may not hear the music yet, but heaven is already tuning the instruments. Every unseen detail of your life is coming into divine alignment. Pause for a moment, breathe deeply, and feel His nearness. That whisper you've been dismissing, the gentle "it's time," is not imagination but invitation. The Lord is saying, "You were faithful in the quiet. Now I will honor you in the open." You are not being evicted from your life, you are being elevated into your purpose. The transition may not make sense now, but it will, because what feels like instability is really God shifting the ground so new roots can grow. This isn't a setback, it's a setup for a supernatural transfer. Heaven has already gone before you, preparing a place, arranging provision, assigning helpers, and clearing your path. What awaits you on the other side of this move is not lack but overflow. Do not cling to what is familiar when the new is being placed in your hands. Chosen one, this is the hour where obedience becomes your greatest currency. Every step of faith you take opens the vaults of heaven. The doors you've been praying about are not locked, they're waiting for your yes, and when you give that yes, when you dare to move in faith without seeing the full map, the wind of God will meet you mid-step. You'll feel it, the divine momentum pushing you forward, the invisible assurance whispering, "This is the way." Your yes is the trigger, your faith is the key. Heaven is ready. Are you? Lately, you may have noticed how nothing feels the same. The things that used to excite you don't move you. The places that once brought peace now feel too small, and conversations that used to fill you now feel empty. That isn't boredom, it's spiritual evolution. Heaven is expanding your capacity, and your old environment can no longer contain your new anointing. When God elevates you, He first changes your appetite. You stop craving what is convenient and start longing for what is consecrated. You begin to sense an unseen pull drawing you forward, and it is the Spirit of God aligning you with your destiny. Every part of your life is being rearranged with intention. Nothing is wasted, not even the confusion. I remember seasons where I couldn't understand why certain people drifted away. I wondered if I had done something wrong, but now I see God was creating space, clearing my atmosphere so divine connections could find me. The same is happening for you now. Heaven is filtering your circle because not everyone can walk into this next chapter with you. Do not chase what God has released. Do not mourn what has been moved. Some doors close so greater ones can open. And chosen one, the first sign that your move is near isn't chaos, it's clarity. Suddenly you see life differently. Ideas arrive that you never had before, and you feel led to prepare, to desolate, to organize, to clean not just your home, but your heart. That is heaven prompting you toward divine order. Your angels are already ahead of you, aligning details, opportunities, relationships, and even locations. The road may not be clear yet, but it will be. I've learned God rarely gives the full map, He gives movement. Each act of obedience illuminates the next step, and once you take the first one, everything else unfolds with supernatural precision. I understand the fear of transition. What if I fail? What if I lose? But faith isn't having all the answers. Faith trusts the one who does. Remember, the same God who parted the Red Sea didn't hand Moses a plan. He gave him a promise. I will be with you. And chosen one, that is all you need to. Chosen one, you are not being removed from stability, you are being reintroduced to sovereignty. God's sovereignty means He is already in your next chapter, waiting for you to arrive, and when you reach it, you'll realize the provision was prepared long before you even prayed. So don't be surprised if your spirit feels stretched in this season. That stretching is evidence of growth. New oil cannot be carried in old vessels, and the shaking, uncertainty, and holy unrest you feel are signs of divine promotion. You are stepping into a space where obedience attracts abundance. Even now, heaven is whispering strategies to your spirit. You may find yourself restless at night, waking at unusual hours with ideas and visions. These are not random, they are divine downloads. The Holy Spirit is sharpening your sensitivity, teaching you to hear in silence and move without hesitation. Write down what you sense, for these impressions are guidance disguised as thoughts. There is urgency in this moment because heaven's calendar is turning in your favor. The divine relocation you felt coming isn't merely physical, it is a prophetic appointment. There is territory marked with your name, blessings encoded with your DNA, and opportunities that have been waiting for your obedience. When you move, you aren't just leaving a place. You are activating a promise and stepping into the timeline God designed before you were born. You are not behind schedule, you are right on divine time. The shift is already in motion, so don't resist it. Flow with it. Soon what feels like uncertainty will reveal itself as divine order, and you'll understand you were not being uprooted, but replanted in the soil of your destiny. Heaven has already packed your promise, and your spirit can feel the luggage at the door. It's almost time to move. And chosen one, let's talk about what happens right before the breakthrough, the in-between place where the old season has ended but the new one has not fully unfolded. This sacred space between what was and what will be can feel disorienting, but it is where God does His most intimate work. You may feel pressure on every side, finances tightening, relationships stretching, doors once open suddenly closing. This is not punishment, it is divine construction. Heaven is laying the foundation for your next dwelling place, and every discomfort is proof that spiritual blueprints are being drawn. The shaking isn't meant to scare you but to shape you. When nothing makes sense, remember that the God who led you into this transition already has the exit route written. Nothing in your life is off track. Every delay carries purpose. Every tear carries instruction. Even the silence carries strategy. I remember a season when everything unraveled: my plans, income, and connections. I thought I was being stripped, but in truth, I was being streamlined. God was simplifying me so He could strengthen me, and once I stopped resisting, provision began flowing from unexpected places. That is what is about to happen for you. The Lord is not trying to take from you, He is trying to trust you. He asks, "Can I give you the new if I remove the old?" You cannot carry yesterday's baggage into tomorrow's blessing. which is why certain things are falling apart. They were never meant to cross over. This is where your faith must speak louder than fear. The path will not reveal itself until you take the first step. Remember, heaven moves at the speed of obedience. You don't need to see the destination to trust the direction. When your spirit says yes, the universe rearranges itself to make room for your arrival. So stop asking, when will it happen? And start declaring it's already unfolding. The supernatural begins working in unseen layers long before it becomes visible. Chosen one, you've been sensing the shift, the late night wake-ups, the strange peace in the middle of chaos, the inner knowing you can't explain. That is heaven's confirmation that your file has been opened. Don't rush the details. Remain in faith. God is preparing introductions, conversations, and opportunities that align perfectly with your purpose. What you're waiting for isn't being delayed, it's being delivered with precision, and when the time is right, everything will converge seamlessly. This move isn't just physical, it's mental, emotional, and spiritual. You are leaving behind limitation, lack, and fear, and being positioned for overflow. Heaven doesn't move you to survive, it moves you to reign. So if things feel unstable, take heart, you're not falling apart, you're falling into alignment. The same power that raised Jesus from the grave is resurrecting every buried dream inside you. What you thought was over is preparing to bloom again. This is your birthing season. The pressure you feel is not the ending, it is the push. Just like a mother in labor, you cannot stay where you are. The promise must come forth. Every contraction is confirmation that the new thing is ready to emerge. Keep breathing. Keep trusting. The miracle is already crowning. And chosen one, the moment you say yes to God's next chapter, everything around you begins to respond. Heaven starts shifting pieces you didn't know existed. People you've never met begin thinking of you. Opportunities you didn't apply for begin to call your name. This is the mystery of divine alignment. When your spirit agrees with heaven, creation bends to obey. Right now, God is orchestrating a relocation that is not just geographical but generational. What He is doing through you will break patterns that have run through your bloodline. You are not simply moving into a new home, you're stepping into a new heritage. You are the first in your lineage to walk in this level of revelation and prosperity. And with that calling come pressure, the weight of being a trailblazer. But don't mistake pressure for punishment. Diamonds are formed under pressure, not comfort. I've lived it myself. There was a season where everything seemed out of order, savings low, doors closed, plans canceled. But beneath the surface, heaven was rewriting the script. What looked like loss was actually laying the foundation for expansion. And when I finally released my grip, when I stopped trying to fix what God was removing, the floodgates opened. What I once chased began to chase me. Chosen one, the same shift is coming for you. The barren places will bloom. The draining relationships will be replaced with divine connections. The opportunities that once rejected you will return, but this time on your terms, because you'll be walking in authority, not anxiety. You're not entering comfort, you're entering calling, and calling requires courage. You cannot step into the season with fear whispering in your ear. Fear asks, what if it doesn't work? Faith answers, what if it does? Choose faith. The same God who provided manna in the wilderness has already planted provision along your path. Never underestimate what obedience unlocks when you move in God's timing. Doors open without knocking. Resources appear without striving. Favor follows without forcing. What is assigned to you will find you. Your job is not to predict the outcome, but to protect your peace. And if you've noticed strange signs, repeated numbers, divine delays, unexpected restlessness, they are not coincidences. They are signals from heaven whispering, prepare. It's time. Just as Israel followed the cloud by day and the fire by night, your spirit is following divine indicators. Chosen one, every shift, every closed door, every quiet inner nudge is guiding you toward your promised territory. Yes, the unfamiliar may feel frightening, but remember the Red Sea did not part until Moses moved forward. Your miracle won't manifest until you take the step. The path does not reveal itself to the hesitant. It unfolds for those who believe. You are not waiting for the right time, you are standing in it. This is your Kairos moment, heaven's now. And when God says, move, do not look back. The same hand that carried you through the wilderness will carry you into the promise. You've waited, prayed, and endured. Now you will witness the supernatural unfold in real time. Heaven has already approved your promotion. The only thing left is your movement. Gather your courage, chosen one. Your next step is sacred. There is something holy about this moment, the calm before divine eruption. You can feel it, can't you? The atmosphere around you has shifted. The old rhythm no longer fits. Heaven has changed frequencies, and your spirit is tuning into a higher wavelength. What once made sense now feels distant, and what once seemed impossible now feels near. That is how you know you're close. Before every supernatural promotion, God releases a divine pause, not for punishment, but for preparation. He pauses to perfect you, hides you to heal you, and when the unveiling comes, it happens suddenly. What took years to question will make sense in seconds. I've seen it, I've lived it. I once believed silence meant abandonment, but it was actually construction. God wasn't ignoring me, he was insulating me, fortifying my faith so the winds of success wouldn't blow me away, and the same is happening for you. You're not being left out, you're being lifted up. Divine timing doesn't follow human calendars. Heaven moves through alignment, not anxiety. When the pieces are ready, the picture appears. That is why you feel an urge to release what no longer fits: the job, the habits, even the conversations that drain you. These layers cannot go where you're headed. The clearest sign that your move is near is this holy discomfort, that undeniable sense that you're outgrowing your current space. It isn't dissatisfaction, it's destiny calling. Your peace has become your compass, and when something disturbs that peace, heaven is saying, this isn't it anymore. You will not need to force the transition. When it's time, the release will be unmistakable. Doors will close with grace, and provision will appear with precision. God doesn't move chaotically, he moves completely. You will look back and see how every thread of confusion was woven into perfect order. Even now, angels assigned to your life are setting the stage, aligning divine appointments, conversations, and opportunities you could never orchestrate on your own. Heaven's logistics are flawless. Every delay was divine synchronization. And chosen one, don't be surprised when your spirit begins craving solitude. Separation always comes before elevation. God pulls you away from the noise so you can hear his next instruction. This quiet season is not a setback, it's a summit, the place where clarity is born. I remember when God pulled me away from everything familiar. It hurt, felt like loss. But that wilderness became my training ground. Chosen one, that silence became my sanctuary, and looking back I realized God was building capacity for what I carry today. You are in that same process. The pruning may sting, but it is proof that you're still connected to the vine. You're being prepared for fruit that lasts. You're not just changing locations, you're changing dimensions. So if everything feels like it's shifting, it's because it is. The Spirit of God is rearranging your reality to match the prophecy spoken over your life. Heaven's calendar has circled this moment. The blueprint is active, the promise is live. Your spirit is already walking in rooms your feet haven't entered. Your name is being mentioned in places you've never been. Your provision is transitioning from hidden sources into visible form. The move isn't coming, it's happening. So prepare yourself. Pack not only your belongings, but your belief. God is about to prove that the wait was worth it. This transition you are stepping into is not ordinary. It carries the fragrance of destiny. You can sense it, the air feels charged, the atmosphere alive, even time seems to accelerate. That is because heaven has sped up your timeline. What takes others decades will take you moments, because this is not human effort, it is divine endorsement. Everything feels intense because spiritual labor always precedes spiritual birth. You are in the delivery room of destiny. The contractions, the pressure, the uncertainty, the loneliness are signs that what God promised is about to be born. You are not losing control. You are giving birth to purpose. And yes, in moments like this, doubt tries to whisper, Lord, I can't see how this will work. But faith doesn't need evidence to move, it creates the evidence. When Peter stepped out of the boat, the water didn't firm up until he walked. The same will happen for you. Once you move, provision will meet you midair. God isn't asking you to figure everything out, he's asking you to follow the whisper, that small steady voice saying, it's time. That is the same voice that led Abraham, comforted Elijah, guided Esther, and raised Joseph from prison to the palace. You are walking a prophetic path paved by the faithful. Don't let fear disguise itself as logic. There is a difference between wisdom and worry. Wisdom listens, worry limits. You've prayed long enough, now it's time to move. The same grace that sustained you in waiting will sustain you in walking. And as you walk, expect confirmation. Expect divine winks, repeated numbers, sudden peace, unplanned encounters. These are heaven's signals saying, yes, this is the way. When they appear, pause and give thanks. Gratitude anchors the shift. I remember when God told me to move before I had the full picture. I hesitated, craving proof, but when I obeyed, resources I never imagined appeared overnight. A place opened, support came, and what once seemed risky became sacred. That is how obedience works. It unlocks miracles in motion. Chosen one, you are walking into a prepared place. The land may look unfamiliar, but your name is already written on it. You will find rest where others struggled and flourish where others failed. The anointing on your life guarantees it, so don't overthink the unknown. The same God who began this good work in you will perfect it. Step forward and watch the supernatural unfold. You are not walking alone. Heaven's army walks beside you, and the light of destiny is guiding your every step. Chosen one, you are closer than you think. The door you've been praying for is already unlocking now. All that's left is for you to walk through it. And in this sacred transition, one of the most powerful acts you can offer heaven is the act of letting go. It sounds simple, but it is often the hardest command God gives. Letting go means trusting that what's leaving is no longer aligned with your purpose, and what's coming is far greater than anything you feel you're losing. Before God moves you forward, He lightens your load. No traveler can climb a mountain carrying unnecessary weight. The ascent requires clarity. The higher you go, the less you can take with you. That's why certain relationships faded without warning, and doors closed even when you prayed for them to stay open. It wasn't rejection, it was refinement. I remember clinging to a season God had already ended, begging Him to restore what He was clearly removing. And one day, in stillness, the Spirit whispered, "I'm not punishing you, I'm preparing you." That was the moment I learned that surrender is the shortcut to breakthrough. When I finally released what I could not control, peace flooded my life like sunlight after a storm. Chosen one, that same peace is waiting for you, the peace that surpasses understanding, the kind that gently assures, even if I don't know what's next, I know who is leading me. You are not stepping into uncertainty, you are stepping into divine choreography. Every delay, detour, and disappointment has been preparing the path beneath your feet. And here is what's truly divine. The very people who overlooked you in the last season will witness your elevation in this one. God is setting a table before you, and when you sit down, it will be undeniable that His hand arranged it. The places where you were once dismissed will become platforms where you are celebrated. The silence was never rejection, it was heaven setting the stage for your reveal. Don't fear the unknown. God never moves you into places He hasn't already secured. You may feel unqualified, but that's why grace exists. Grace is your access code. You won't have to fight for this next opportunity. Favor will go before you. The right people, the right timing, the right doors will align the moment you say yes. Even now, your angels are on assignment, preparing introductions, aligning resources, softening hearts in your favor. What once resisted you is being commanded to release you. Heaven is sending instructions to every detail connected to your destiny, your home, your finances, your partnerships. Everything is being divinely arranged. So don't let impatience rob you of preparation. Move with faith, not haste. The shift that's coming is permanent. You're not returning to struggle, you're stepping into stability. The blessing ahead will not drain you, it will sustain you. I feel this strongly for you, chosen one. Your life is about to look completely different. The tables are turning, the scales are balancing, and the hidden years are about to make sense. When the move happens, it will happen suddenly, not by your effort, but by divine acceleration. Stay expectant, stay light, stay aligned. Heaven is closer than it has ever been. The sound you hear in your spirit is not imagination, it is invitation. The waiting is almost over. Get ready to step into everything God promised. And now, chosen one, take this moment in. Breathe. You've come so far through storms, silence, and nights that felt endless. You've been pruned, refined, tested, and strengthened. And now heaven whispers, it's time. The waiting was never wasted. It was weaving you into readiness. This final stretch before your move may feel strange, but that is the sign you're moments away from stepping into destiny. Chosen one, things may feel quiet, almost too quiet, but silence is the sound of alignment. It is the space where God finishes what He started. The details you cannot see are being finalized, people are being positioned, and keys, contracts, and confirmations are being prepared in your favor. And when this shift manifests, it will happen suddenly. One day you will wake up and realize everything has changed, your atmosphere lighter, provision flowing with ease, and peace resting on you unmistakably. That's when you'll know you have stepped into the promise. The place that once felt like a dream will become your dwelling. But remember, this move isn't just about location, it's about elevation. It's about walking in the version of yourself that heaven has always seen. The move is the manifestation of your maturity. You've passed the test of trust, and now God is entrusting you with territory. You aren't just entering a new season, you're entering a new stature. The wealth, opportunities, and influence coming aren't meant to change who you are, but to amplify your assignment. You will be a light in new spaces, a voice where silence once ruled, a vessel of provision for those still wandering in the wilderness. God didn't lift you to isolate you. He elevated you to represent Him. So do not rush what heaven is perfecting. When the door opens, and it will walk through it with grace, not haste. Move with quiet authority, knowing you are not lucky, you are chosen. Every step will be guided, every encounter divine, and every resource will meet you at the appointed moment. I feel this deeply for you. Your angels are already celebrating. The pages of your story are turning, and the next chapter begins with favor. You are walking into a future written long before the struggle began. The pain was the passageway. The promise is the reward. Lift your head, chosen one, the move is here. The waiting season has ended. Step into your new beginning with faith, confidence, and gratitude. You are not being moved by chance. You are being moved by purpose, and heaven is leading the way. So as we close this divine moment together, breathe in the peace that only heaven can give. You are standing in your Kairos moment, the appointed hour where everything shifts in your favor. The supernatural transfer has already begun. What you've been praying for is now aligning. The move isn't coming, it is unfolding beneath your feet. You are not walking into the unknown, you are walking into fulfillment. The God who called you out is the same God who goes before you, clearing the path, preparing the provision, and releasing the promise. The doors that once resisted you will now recognize you. The places that once rejected you will now make room for your arrival. Lift your hands and declare, I am ready, Lord. I receive what heaven has prepared. I will move when you say move, and I will trust what you reveal. Let this declaration be your covenant with this season. Anointed one, remain faithful. Stay sensitive to the whisper of the Spirit. Walk boldly, for the wind of God is carrying you. The weight refined you, now the reward will define you. If this word confirmed what your spirit already knew, type amen in agreement and alignment. Stay connected, stay prayerful, stay expectant. You are not being moved by chance, you are being moved by purpose. And heaven is smiling as you step into your new beginning. God bless you, chosen one.